SPAs, or single-page applications, are becoming the standard for high-quality web applications. A single-page application is a web application that loads all of its resources as a single-page load and then executes in a single web page. Client-side scripting and AJAX are used to provide user interaction instead of regenerating pages server-side. This technique is used to provide an improved user experience, delivering faster and more advanced user interaction. SPAs are the result of an evolutionary process. In the beginning, the web was a connected set of static pages. After that came server-side applications. Each user action resulted in an independent request to the server-side application, which would respond with a completely regenerated page. In this model, the user is constantly interrupted by network latency and page redraws. Actual performance suffers because of the redundant work being done to constantly regenerate the page and retransmit it over the network. Because entirely server-side applications are limited and boring, web developers began to enhance them using client-side scripting and AJAX. This is the hybrid model of web development. And finally, SPAs are developed by completely moving the user interface logic and generation to the client. The responsibility of the server is reduced to the initial serving of the SPA, providing data services, and any other activities that cannot be performed on the client. User interactions result in immediate feedback, just like a desktop application, and much of the server communication can be done asynchronously, without the user having to wait and being interrupted in their task. When a person uses your application, they are trying to perform a task or achieve a goal. Repeatedly forcing wait time into the process, as server-side web applications do, breaks the user's flow and delivers a substandard user experience. The hybrid model is popular at the moment because it promises familiarity as well as an improved user experience. However, it is a flawed and impure architecture. When developing a hybrid application, it is never clear where responsibilities belong. It can feel messy and random. Gmail is possibly the most famous single-page application. Gmail users can search, scan, read, send, and delete their email without a single-page reload. Facebook, like most SPAs, is not strictly a single page. SPA is a concept, not a strict definition. It often makes sense for your application to consist of a set of SPAs. Twitter.com is an SPA that makes use of modal dialogues to squeeze more information into the user interface. Trello is a fancy to-do list application. Let's have a quick play with Trello so you can see what an SPA is like. This is Trello. Trello is a web app used to manage lists of anything. Here I have 3 lists: basics, intermediate, and advanced. Each list has a number of cards. I can open a card by clicking on it to see more detail. I can change a text field by selecting it and editing it in place. I can add new cards. I can reorder cards within a list, and I can move cards from one list to another. For any given card, I can add a checklist and then add things to the checklist. And check those off as I'm done. I can give a card some labels, choose a color for the card's label, give the label a title. I can add an entirely new list to this board. and reorder lists. If I'm working in a team situation and somebody else is using the same Trello board at the same time, if my team member adds a card, it's automatically added to my Trello board as well. So there's some real-time capabilities there, or sort of soft real-time. And if they were to archive that card, watch it disappear. So the two boards in different browser windows stay in sync. Trello is an excellent example of what can be done with client-side web applications and single-page applications, if you prefer that term. It's also a great example of a backbone application, and I think a very good case study of why this style of application can deliver an advanced user experience. It's not all good news. SPAs introduce some unique challenges. SPAs are not new, but it's fair to say that the technology is immature. Compared to server-side web frameworks, there's a lack of tooling and experienced developers. When Google spiders an SPA, it receives an empty page because the content has not been generated yet. If search engine is important for your application, then you will have to do some extra work to make your content visible to search engines. This will be covered later when discussing routing. Running a substantial portion of your application client-side increases your dependence on the user's browser, and some browsers are a lot better than some others. Overcoming this means that you may choose not to support some older browsers. Also, you'll want to follow standards for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you'll need to thoroughly test in multiple browsers.